we discuss selection control structures, there are two blocks. One, we can use if. That means if you have only one thing to do, if something happens, you are going to do something. But if you have two choices, right? If you have two choices, then we will have if then else block. Right? Okay. So then when it comes to putting conditions, we have to use different blocks. Now remember, the question that we supposed to ask here is true or false kind of question. So what we need is, we need these comparison blocks to put it there, and based on the values we are getting either true or false, right? And then we have logical blocks. Did we discuss logical blocks, Dhananjay?
No, sir.
Right. Have we discussed this one, these blocks?
No, sir.
Okay, so then I will start with that one then first. Now let me start scratch and share with you the screen, right? So in scratch, as I told you earlier, there are few things that we can do, right? Now we know how to execute a small program, right? But then when it comes to writing more complex programs, so let me share the scratch. Right now, motions we already know. Then now we are going to go to control, right? And under the control, this is what we are interested looking at, if and else if. Right now, the two blocks are very useful when you want to make a decision. Now condition, we have to put the operator, and the operators are like this. So you see here we can have a couple of operators. So we have less than or equal, so you can use these operators. Now depend on you the value you put it here. Now let's say so let me say something like this. I'm just want to say I'm getting a number, and then let's say I want to tell whether it's a positive number or a negative number, right? Or else simply I can identify whether it's a negative number. So one thing we know, negative means, okay, let's take a number. So we know, go to looks, ask. I'm going to ask, give me a number, right? Okay, I'm going to ask, give me a number. And you are waiting for the answer. So let's say your answer, you are going to compare. You are going to say if it is less than 0, we know it's negative, right? If it is less than 0, we know it's negative, right? So if it is negative number, then I'm going to say, okay, it's a negative number, right? It's a very simple one. So I'm going to say, right, the number. So I'm going to say it's a negative number, right? Simple one. Very simple idea I am going to use, right? I'm going to ask, okay, give me a number, and depend on the number I will get, I'm going to say whether it's a negative number, right? So I'm going to ask, okay, give me a number. So let me put -5. So when I enter -5, right, it says, okay, it's a negative number. Let me try it again. Give me a number. I'm going to say 5, right? And it doesn't say anything. Because if the number is negative only, you are going to work on this. Okay. Right. Now, let me further work on this problem. Now, let's say if the number is negative, let's make it positive. Can you tell me how do you do that? If the answer is negative, I want to make it positive. What you should do? Yes?
Multiply by -1.
Exactly. Good point. So what we could do is, right, we could multiply by -1, right? So let me do like this. Let me create a variable for this to hold this number, right? So I'm going to create a variable. So I'm going to variable called number. Remember we discussed variables earlier, right? So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a number and I'm going to set the number as the answer, right? Did you get this? Okay. Now this is what I'm going to do. Now instead of putting answer here, I'm now going to get number, right? And if the number is negative, it will say negative number. Now what I said earlier is instead of saying negative number, let's say I want to make it positive number if it is negative. So as Dhananjay said, what we should do is we need to multiply, right? How do you do this? So I can say, okay, change the number. How do you change? Okay, not change. We are going to set the number, right? So what we are going to do, we are going to update the number by multiplying it. Which one we are going to use multiply? So let's take the multiplication. I'm going to get the existing number, right? I'm going to get the existing number. Okay, so this is plus. Sorry. I have to get the multiplication. So I'm going to get the number, and then if it is negative, I'm going to multiply by -1. And finally, I'm going to display this. So I'm going to say that, right, the output of this. So we can say that it's number. So I'm going to say number. Now what will happen here? Now if you run this, you ask give me a number. So I'll make it a positive. Let me say 5. Now if it is 5, what will happen? This set number 5. And this will not work. Why this will not work? Because it's not less than 0, but it's still, it will display 5, right? When I put 5 and enter, it says 5. Nothing has changed. This has not executed. But let me run one more time. And this time I'm going to say -5 and check the answer. Still we are getting 5. Now this time what has happened? You get the -5. You multiply with -1. So it becomes +5. So this is sometimes known as absolute value, right? Absolute value means we are going to discard the sign of the number. We are going to discard positive or negative. You just take the value. So what I'm going to do, I will take this. For example, I'm going to use join, right? And I'm going to get the number here and I put it here. I'm going to say, okay, the absolute value is, right? Absolute value is whatever the number you enter, you are going to get the absolute value, only the value, right? So let me run. Okay, give me a number. So then this is what will happen. If I put 5, nothing will happen. It says absolute value is 5. But still, if you run it again, right, let me say -5, then it's again converted to positive value and it says the number is 5. Right? So this will show you how we could use a simple selection. And if the condition is true, only you are going to do something. Right. Okay. Do you want to, take down this one? Or can I go to the next one? So this is the complete one. If you want, you can take down. I will give you about 1 minute to, take down this, and you can try. Okay. How can we use when you have two choices, right? So I'm going to take this away, right? So this time I'm going to have a different one. Now I'm going to use a simple selection earlier. Now I'm going to use both. Now, previous one, what has happened? We had only one. If condition is true, you are going to execute whatever inside here. But this time we are going to take the condition. If it is true, you are going to execute whatever we have here. And if not, you go to else part. Now something like this. Now I'm going to go back to the same one earlier. So I'm going to ask something like, okay, give me a number, right? And then depend on the number, I want to say whether it's a negative or positive number. Now, previous case, we check only negativity, right? But if it is a negative, then we have to say negative. If it is not, we have to say positive. Can Dhananji tell me what should I do now? What should I put as the condition here?
Answer is greater than 0.
Yes, if answer is greater than 0, what should I type? If answer is greater than 0, okay. So I will put this and then I will get the answer. I will put 0, okay. So if that is the case, what should I type here? Put it here. If
It's a
answer is,
positive number.
it's a positive number, so we have to say, okay, so we can say, okay, it's a positive number. So I can say now, okay, it's a positive number. Similarly, if not, else part, what should I type? Seniru?
Else say it's a negative number.
Yes. So we have to say, okay, it's not a positive, but it's a negative number. Right? Now let me finish this. We'll put if when. Right now we can run. So let's take the full screen. Okay, it will ask, I will start from the beginning. Okay, give me a number. So let me say 5. If I press enter, it says it's positive number. If I run it again, give me a number. Let me put -5. It says it's a negative number. You see. So what has happened here now, we have two outputs, but it depends on the condition. If the value we given is a positive number, it will execute this statement. If not, it will go here, execute this statement. Okay, so I want you to give a simple work. Now, I want you to develop a Scratch program to get marks of a student. If marks is greater than 50, I want to say you are pass. If not, you have to say you are fail. Right? Did you get my question? So get marks from a user. If the marks is greater than 50, say you are pass. If not, say you are fail. Okay, let's start. Okay, yeah. So you are asking how much you get. Okay, answer is greater than 50, you say pass. Other file, you will say fail. Okay, good. Okay, then in this case, yes, you are getting marks you have. Yes, if it is 50, you are pass. Okay, and otherwise you are going to say you are fail. Okay, good, good, good. So first of all, I ask marks for the subject, and if the answer is greater than 50, I'm going to say pass, otherwise it will fail. So when I run this, right? So now you can say, okay, marks for the subject. So let me say 85. Yes, it says you are pass. We'll run again. This time I'm going to put 50. Can you tell me what will be the output? Dhananjay, if I put 50, what is the program output? Is it pass or fail?
Huh?
Yeah, it should be fail. Why fail? If it is greater than 50 means like it should be at least 51, right? More than 50. So if I put 50, so it says 50, you're fail. Okay. Right, good. So let's move to the next one then. So let me go to the textbook again. So we were discussing how we use selection. So under the selection, we discuss how to put logical blocks. Sorry, we discuss the blocks. Right, now let's do another activity, 4.4. So in the 4.4, I will give you the work. Let me share the screen. So let me share the screen. I need you to find out the answer. So the what is the yes, what is the answer? When you say A, when you say A to 0, what is the value of A?
0.
So that A should be 0, isn't it? So this should be A should be 0. When you say, so we can say A is 0. Final answer. Now we say change A by 5. Dhananjay? So when you say change A by 5, it means that you are going to increase A by 5. So right now A is 0. So if you increase by 5, what will happen? What is the value of A?
5.
Yes, it's 5. Last one, Senhiru. What is the final answer?
15.
Yes. Now we know currently A is 5. And when you add 10, it will be 50. Remember that this is not mathematics. In mathematically, you can't say that A equals A plus 10. It's obvious. But in computers, what we say is, oh, your right-hand side will assign to the left-hand side. So this becomes 50. Right? So let me share the screen again. So we were discussing, first of all, when you say set 0, A will be 0. When you say change A by 5, A becomes 5. When you add A to 10, right? Okay, so this is not really, okay, I now figure out this is not the correct answer. Yeah, it's not 50. What is this? This block is what? Conditional block. What we are asking is not to assign. We were checking whether A is equal to A plus 10. So what is the output there? Yeah. So no means we have to say false. Okay. So that was earlier my mistakes. So it should be false. right? So let's go back. I think I better, explain with this Scratch itself. So I'm going to go to Scratch. Now, we are going to check this, meaning we are trying to look at so let me take this out. Now there what we had says variables. So one variable is A. So I'm going to say create variable A. And it says set A to 0. So when you say set A to 0, we know that A is 0. So this is A is 0. Now change A by 5, the next one. When you say change A by 5, existing value is 0. By 5 means, right, A becomes 5. So those two answers are correct. Next one, what the mistake I have did is like it was, you are checking equality. In one side you have A, the other side you have A plus 10. Right? You had A plus 10. So when you check equality, that means comparison operator, right? It's not you are going to set the value, right? So you check whether this side, that means your left hand side is equal to right hand side. Never, right? Because A will not equal to A plus 10. So it says false. Right? If it is like set A to A plus 10, right? So this is what I think I have mistaken earlier, right? So you can put it like this if you want. So then it will change. So I hope you understood. Okay, so in this particular case, now A is 5, right? When you click it, it becomes 15 because existing value is 5. You add 10, you again assign it to A. Okay, right now, these logical operations. Now, let me discuss logical. Logical means something like this. Now, in this side, now we know that when we have expressions like this, right, it will evaluate true or false. Either it will be true or it will be false. Right? So let me say something like this. I can say, okay, let's say A to 0. Let's say set to 0. I can check whether, right, something like this. I'm going to check whether A is 0. So I'm going to set A and I will put 0. What is the output of this one? Yes. If you have A and 0, what will be the outcome of this part? Is it true or is it false? Nanji?
True.
It should be true, right? So when you click it, you say it's true because A is 0. Right? Another one. So I'm going to put here A. No, other one. I will, sorry, I will put this one. I'll put A. I can ask whether is greater than -1. What do you think? Is it true or false?
True.
It's again true. Let me put another one. A. I can ask whether A is less than 1. Yes, Senhil, true or false? it's false. Now let's see what will happen if I put this, right? Now I will put, right? Now we have two true statements here. So let me create another one. Duplicate. I will ask -1. What is the output here? Now this is false, this is false, this is true, this is true. Now let's see what will happen. I'll put two false statements. Right? This is false and this is also false. So when both are false, it will be, right, false. That means false, false, we'll get false. And let me take a duplicate. Now this is false, right? I'll make a true. So now what happens? This is true. Sorry, this is false, this is true. But still this is false. Still this is false. I will take a duplicate again. I will change this. I will put true and then I will put false. So this is false, this is false, this is false, this is true, this is true, this is false. Right? Okay. One more. I'll take another one. I'll remove this and I will take this one. True, true. Then the output is true. So remember, if you have AND operation, to get true, you have to have both conditions in true mode. So this is true, because of that, this is true. And meaning both, right? So both should be true to get this answer. Okay, got the point? So if false man, දෙකෙන් එකක් අපි ගත්තොත් දෙකෙන් එකක් true වෙලා මදි. දැන් මේකෙදි මේක true. මේකෙදි මේක true. නෑ ඒ වුණත් false එන්නේ. මේකත් false, මේකත් false, මේකත් false, මේකත් false. මතක තියාගන්න ඕනේ මේක විතරයි. true වෙන්න නම් මේ දෙකම මොකද වෙන්න ඕනේ? true වෙන්න ඕනේ. එකක් හරි false වුණොත් false වෙනවා. හරි? මතකයි? Right. Now let's look at O operation. Right. So and means both. And means both. Let's take O. O operation. Right. I'll took the same. I'm going to get the same combination just to see what will happen. Right. Now let's look at the output. This is false and this is false. So the output is false. Let me duplicate. And this side, I'm going to take this one. So what is happening now? This is false, but this is true. So you see, if you have O operator, O mean at least one. This one, no, that one, right? So since this is true, it's evaluated true. Another duplicate value. I'm going to switch. Still I'm getting true. Last one. So this is true, right? And then I'm going to take this one. This is also true. So remember, if is AND, both should be evaluated true. If it is O, if any one of them is true, then evaluate true. Okay. So AND operation, both has to be true. O operation, if at least one, then it will be true. Okay, last one, not. Now this is how not works. So right now this is false. If you put a false statement, it will make it a true. Similarly, right? If you take this is true, if you put true inside, then this becomes false. Any questions on comparison operators? Right. Let's move on to the exercise there. Right. So there'll be exercise. Right. Let's look at whether you can figure this out. Okay. Decide which. So if A is greater less than 15 or A is equal 15. Now, right now it says current value is 15. Right now A is given as 15. Right? Yes, Dhananji. We are checking here A is less than 15. Is it less than 15?
No.
No. So that means this is false. So I put F here. This is false. Here we are checking A is equal to 15. If A is equal to 15, yes,
True.
right? This is true. So now we have one side we have false, the other side we have a true, we have operator. What is the output? Is it true or is it false?
True.
It should be true. So the answer is true. Okay, I need to answer the second one, Senhiru. So how about this one? So this is false. This is true. It's an AND. If it is AND, the output is
False.
should be false, right? Because both should be true for the AND. Okay, Dhananji. What is the output of third one?
True.
Yes, right now this is A less than 15 is false. Not false. It's always opposite if you have a not operator. So that means this should be true. Send it to last one.
False.
Yeah, it should be false. Okay, hope now you are okay with the comparison operators, right? As well as logical operators. Right. Let's get back to the lesson now. Right. Now we have discussed both comparison blocks, right? As well as logical blocks. So if you go here, if both are true, then output is true. If one of them false, right, then it will be false. Right? And here O operator, if one of these is true, right, then we can say it's true. Not operator is always the opposite. So when you check 2 equal to 4, it's no, false. Not false means true. 2 is it less than 4 years? If that's the case, not means that's false. Right. Okay. Let's look at developing some programs, right? So we need to do now, normally if you go to ATM, right? When you want to take out money from your account, whenever you get some money from your account, right? So you have to, when you make a withdrawal, you have to reduce the balance. Now it says the current balance is 5,000, and then we have to decide, right, whether you can, withdraw any amount. Now we know if you look at the flow chart, the current balance is 5,000. Now you have to first ask what is the amount you want to withdraw. And then if the balance is greater than the amount you have requested, that means you have enough money. Let's say you request 1,000. We also know balance is greater than 1,000. So you can actually give the money back, right? But the problem is, let's say you ask 6,000, but what we have 5,000. So in that sense, it should not, withdraw that money because you don't have enough. You don't have enough funds in your account. Right. So let's start. Let's try to develop this in Scratch. So I will take a new one. Right. Okay. So the first of all, we need like two variables. One for the balance. So I will create those. So I'm going to say, okay, balance. You have to create a variable. I don't know why I couldn't create a variable. So let me close and open. Now let's see whether we can create a variable. So I need to create a variable to hold the balance. So I'm going to say balance. Right. So I'm creating a balance. Right. So I have now variable balance. And let me create another variable for amount as well. So I'm going to create amount. So this is what I have right now. Okay. So now we have balance and we have amount. Now let's start with the balance, right? Now I'm going to set the balance. Okay, I'm going to set the balance to 5,000. Then you can ask the amount you want withdraw. We can ask, okay, enter the amount. And when you get the amount, what you need to do is you have to change the balance. Right? So how do you make it the change? You can go to variables. We can say, okay, set balance. So what do you have to do? Okay, first of all, you get the amount and then we have to store. Sorry, I forgot. So I have to first say, okay, amount is amount. I'm getting amount. Oh, sorry. I'm getting from answer. Right? Now I have the balance and amount. We don't know really. So once you request the amount, once the withdrawal happens, we have to change the balance, which means we'll go back and we have to say, set the balance. So how do you get the balance, right? So you have to go for operators. You have to subtract. What do you need to subtract? Which one should be higher? It should be balance, right? Balance. And then requested amount. And finally, we can display the answer. We can say, okay, here is a balance. Here is a balance. Now let me run this. Now it says, okay, set 5,000. The balance is 5,000. Enter the amount. I'm going to say 1,000. Now, when I say 1,000, the balance will be 4,000. Okay, you can keep on doing this. But sometimes what happens if you request more than what you have, like 6,000, it says minus 1,000. So the balance could not be minus, right? It should be 0 if you don't have funds. Okay, that's why we need if statement. Now, if statement happens when, right, then only you are going to do this. What you have to check? You have to check what? Whether your balance, whether the balance is greater than the amount. Then only you are going to do this. Okay. So in that, now this is complete, which means if I ask, let's say 2,500, and it says the balance is 2,500. And then let's say let's say 6,000. Yeah, 6,000. Okay, it doesn't say anything because you are not going to do anything because the amount is larger. Right. Any questions on this one? Taranji?
No, sir.
Okay, let's move the next one. Another example. Okay, so let's look at another example from the book. Right, now let's look at this one. Right. So there are a few things that we want to understand here. Now we need to display, we get a number and we have to say whether the number is a even number or odd number. Even number, odd number. The trick that we are going to use, we are going to look at the remainder. So we will use remainder. You divide the number by 2. How do you say with the remainder whether it's an even number or odd number? Okay, right. So let's go back. I will explain with Scratch itself how we are going to do this. So let me share Scratch. So I will take this out. Right. And I want to find out whether the given number is even or odd. Right. Now this is how we are going to do. So if it is an even number, when you divide the number by 2, what is the remainder? Yes, Seniru? Dhananji?
0.
Yes. When you divide the number by 2, if the remainder is 0, we know that it's an even number. Now take 2, divide by 2. Take 10, divide by 2. Right? Not the, we will talk about the remainder. So if the remainder is 0, we know it's the odd number. 0, we know it's an even number. If not, we know it's right odd number. Right? Okay. So I will give you one more thing for today. How do you get the remainder? Now to get the remainder, we have mod operation. Modulus we call it. Now for example, 10 divide by 2. The remainder is 0. Right? 10 divide by 3. Remainder is 1. So you can make use of this. Okay. So I will stop for today. I want you to try out this problem and I will send you the flow chart after finishing this one. So I will put in the WhatsApp group, right? And then based on that, I want you to write the program. Okay, you're welcome.